If there is a signpost along the road of life that says, "The need for speed starts here," Bruce Meyer read the sign early on, embraced the message, and never looked back. For someone who has always been as at home on 2 wheels as he is on 4, and sometimes on no wheels at all, Bruce has always brought the same level of commitment to the enjoyment and dedication to the preservation of significant cars. From American hot rods to international road racing championship winners to classics and sports cars from other places and other times. Of the many interests that Ross Myers and Bruce Meyer share, both will point to historic American hot rods as the first seeds of a friendship that would grow and which endures to this day. And on a recent visit to Bruce's auto collection in California, Ross welcomed him into the legend of Three Dog Garage brotherhood.
I'm here today with a wonderful friend, Bruce Meyer. Bruce is our legend for 2026. And I could go on for an hour and tell you why he deserves to be on our legend wall, but I'll just name a few things. First of all, if it wasn't for what I call Uncle Bruce, I probably never would have been inspired to start my historic hot rod collection. When I saw the Doane Spencer car on the lawn at Pebble, it just blew me away. I thought that was the coolest car there. It should have won Best in Show, right? And your enthusiasm for preserving the early hot rods and the stories of the men that built them and raced them and drove them, it just inspired me to pursue that. I remember the first time I even knew what a historic hot rod was, I saw Kirk White's green car at Hershey, which is now in the Petersen.
The Ray Brown car.
The Ray Brown car. So 20 years later, whatever it is, probably 20 years later, Three Dog Garage has a pretty fun group of cars.
Very historic and diverse. And we both realized how important hot rodding was to everything we love about cars. And also celebrating the people that did it, the founders, the legends, and the pioneers that really started the hobby.
And a lot of those people we celebrate were veterans that either couldn't find a new car because they were so scarce, or didn't have the money saved up but wanted to use their talent to build something. It didn't matter if they were a mechanic, a welder, a panel beater, or a bulldozer operator like my father. They all came home and they wanted to, make a statement somehow. And they made their statements with the cars they drove back then.
The aerolines, the Zeus fittings, all that technology was developed in World War II, and so they had all this newfound technology all back in here,
Right.
And they were going to apply it somewhere.
Yep.
They loved the cars, and maybe they couldn't afford a new car, but they made do with the best they could.
And they built really cool stuff.
Yeah.
And you look at some of the stuff they built, they weren't afraid to build something and drive it and see if it worked or not.
Sure.
You know?
And try new things.
Whether it blew up or not,
Yeah,
they didn't really
yeah.
care. Let's give it a shot, right?
And they lowered cars, they modified cars, and that's what your collection is so diverse in showing high boys and low boys and channeled cars and made up, full design cars.
But when you walk around, you tell stories, right? To me, I don't want to own a car or have it in my garage that doesn't have a story. It's gotta have a story. And that's really what we collect. And by doing that, we preserve those stories.
100%. It's all about the stories, the friendships, the relationships. And I think that has a lot to do with why we are such akin, such soul brothers. Even though he dressed all in black and I'm in white today, because we wanted to make sure people knew who was who, you know what I mean?
Bruce's motto, "Never lift," comes from racing at Bonneville. It is a term that means, in the most literal way, keeping your foot flat on the throttle until the car you're driving cannot go any faster. But never lift is about more than speed. It is the mindset Bruce embraces in everything he does. There is no halfway, and there never has been, from his car collection to his marriage to Raylene, his lovely wife of 56 years, and their family, to his commitment to the community, and of course, to the car world at large. Nowhere does that show like the unqualified success and rebirth of the Petersen Automotive Museum in Los Angeles in recent years. It is a topic Ross is eager to talk about with Bruce.
The Petersen Museum is the finest, best, most dynamic car institution in the world. I'm not even going to call it a museum because it's an institution and it's an inspiration to people like us, young people, people from all over the world that can go there and just get immersed in something very, very special. And if it wasn't for Bruce Meyer, the Petersen would probably exist, but it wouldn't exist as it does today as an inspiration to every other car hobbyist in the world. I know you're humble about it. You don't like to talk about it, but I've watched you work. I've watched your magic for 25 years. What you've done with it is just absolutely incredible. Could you tell me a little bit about how you got inspired to do that?
Growing up, I subscribed to Boy's Life, which was a scouting magazine, and Hot Rod magazine. And as it turned out, we're both in a group called Young Presidents Organization, and Robert E. Petersen was a member of Young Presidents Organization. I didn't know it until I got into it.
Right.
And he was a neighbor of mine, lived in Beverly Hills. It's probably bold, but there would be no hot rod movement today without Robert E. Petersen. He's the one that wrote the book. He's the one that started Hot Rod magazine. And it just inspired me. I wanted a hot rod more than anything through Robert E. Petersen. And Pete was really not a car guy like you and I are a car guy, but a brilliant, brilliant businessman and an opportunistic buyer. If somebody had something for sale, they needed cash, the price was right, Petersen would buy it, whether it was artwork. I remember we were both members of the Natural History Museum board, and as we're walking out of the Natural History Museum, Pete took me over and showed me this whole vitrine of gold nuggets. And I'm going, those are amazing. He said, Bruce, that's the largest gold nugget in the world. And he's telling me all about this. And I said, Pete, how do you know about gold nuggets? He said, that's my collection. He was a Renaissance man way before his time. Wow. And so this whole city block came available.
I knew that, by the way.
Yeah, the whole city block came available where the Petersen Automotive Museum is now. And he thought, well, this would make a great car museum. So he came to me. I guess I'm Mr. Enthusiasm.
You think? That's an interesting concept.
Maybe I'll start with doing that someday. But I guess I'm the guy that has kept it going through enthusiasm. And I would say when we reimagined ourselves about 15 years ago is when we put the capital M on the museum, and that's when you came on board. And we've really become a cultural institution.
It's not just about cars, it's about the culture.
When I go through there, there's families there. There's kids, there's from in strollers to teenagers to 20s, 30s, hobbyists of all kinds, right?
You know, when I take people through I just tell them, look, we're gonna go here. I want you to look at the ethnicity, the gender, the age of all the people you see, exactly that. We appeal to everybody now. And kids bring their grandparents.
Right.
And without that interest from the young people, you'll die. So we have made a concerted effort to create opportunities for young people to experience the car in internships. Our whole garage level, the vault level, it used to be, you know, we probably had a craftsman toolbox there. Now it's youth, it's friendships, it's the happiest place to work, which thanks to Terry Cargis, our executive director, and Anna and Michael, oh my God. Without them, there would be no museum. I mean, it makes me want to come in and work harder. But we do appeal to the young people, and I think that's where you're going. You know, if it was just you and me doing hot rods, it would probably end with us.
Yeah, I think you do a better job of inspiring young people about the automotive field and the car hobby than anybody else in the United States or in the world. I don't know how many thousand young people you get through there a year, but it's just amazing.
Well, we run tens of thousands of inner city kids through there. And the nice thing, for most of my cars, all of my cars, and all of your cars you can put your hands on them and work on them. The newer cars are more hands-off, you know, you got to have a computer, get the right program. So, you know, we do have a bit of a selfish interest in keeping the old cars, the hot rods, the race cars alive, you know, where people can.
But there's so much opportunity for young people to get involved.
I was saying, you know, we probably don't need another Greek literature expert, but somebody, if you know how to weld or work on aircraft or diesel mechanics, trade school, or restore a brass car, sure, or metallurgy. Yeah. These are endeavors that there'll always be demand for it.
Absolutely.
And so we're very happy to promote that at the Petersen.
Well, you're doing a great job. I'm going to mention one more thing. You always take the time to meet people, to greet them, to make them feel special, and to share their hobby and your hobby as one hobby. And I just admire that so much. I watch you and how you do that. You are absolutely the #1 ambassador for the car hobby in the United States. There's no doubt about that. So how about you show us some of the amazing cars in this amazing garage?
Tell the stories.
You got it.
So this is a car we built to race at Bonneville, and I always wanted to go over 200 miles an hour in a roadster.
Wasn't it a thrill?
The most meaningful, thrilling, amazing ride of my life.
Okay.
I say when you pull the chute, you're going over 200 miles an hour, and you can feel that it's like getting a hug from your mom. So, you know, it's a very comforting feeling when you finish the run. Yeah. Especially when the chute comes out and you're going to slow down and whoa the car down and you made it. I think of all the cars in the garage, this is my most favorite. And the reason is it gives me a false sense that I'm great. It's loud, it goes reasonably fast. It's just one of the sublime cars, the Cobra, Shelby Cobra. So this is the very first car, serial number 1. So we feel very fortunate to have this. That car won Le Mans in '79, also a great car. People say, why don't you take these out and drive them and race them? Like you take your famous cars out. I said, the only history I could add to that car would be bad. So just briefly, the boat, because people say, why a boat? This is a Miller engine in this boat. Wow. And Harry Miller was like the dean of, you know, mechanical engineers. He created the Miller engine, based basically on a Peugeot.
Twin overhead cam.
Twin overhead cam, great boat. So I particularly like this because it's a Miller. This boat was driven by Wilbur Shaw, 3-time Indy winner, and that's him driving in Biscayne Bay. That's a Mercedes 300 SC Cabriolet. Gorgeous. That's one of 49 cars. And so after the war, Mercedes wanted to prove to the world that they could build great, iconic cars. So they built the Gullwing in '55, and they built that in '56. They made 48 of those for royalty. So Shaw of Iran had one, Clark Gable, this was Clark Gable's car, Gary Cooper, Errol Flynn, Bing Crosby, Judy Garland. That car was $13,000, wow. All the money. And this is a 275 competition car, and it was purchased in Pennsylvania, and I flew back And I brought my son because they had those, what is the sandwich that everybody eats in Pennsylvania?
Cheesesteak.
But Philly cheesesteak.
He wanted the cheesesteak.
So that's the way I got my son back, to be with Ross, Uncle Ross, and have a Philly cheesesteak. So we went back.
And Aaron came along.
And oh
too.
yeah, that picture I want to share with everybody. It was just the four of us, two old men and their young boys, and they ordered those Philly cheesesteak.
Sitting in a picnic table in South Philadelphia, right next to a truck terminal, enjoying our lunch.
Now I'm a burrito fan. That made a burrito feel lightweight. That was the biggest loaf of bread with everything on it. Anyways, that was a very memorable day.
You gotta have the Philadelphia bread. That's the whole secret.
Yeah, we had so much fun. That car is one of one. It was built for Colonel McCormick.
I love the windshield and top on that car.
That is as chopped and as cool as it gets, because we both love chopped cars.
That's a Duesenberg hot rod, right?
So Duesenberg hot rod, and people say, is that comfortable? No, it's not comfortable. I can barely fit in it and barely see out of it, but you look cool.
Oh, you look great.
This over here is a roof. Alois Roof developed this car, and because it's yellow and because it was at a big shootout with Road and Track, they called it a yellow bird, but it's really a CTR, and it's wicked fast, well over 200 miles an hour, and won the competition. So I could go on about that car. That's the fastest probably car in the garage. With hot rods, you know, you got a Ford, you put a Chevy engine in it, that's pretty common. This is a big block Chevy built by a fellow named Tom Proofer. And Tom Proofer...
I love to have this car in my rearview mirror just to look at the flames.
I'm with you.
Right?
Like,
it's just the coolest thing in the world to be going down a road with a line of wonderful friends in these wonderful hot rods, and to see those flames coming right up my backside.
Doesn't get any better. So this, to me, just defines hot rod. And that's kind of the run of the garage, but it's so great to have you here, Ross, and you've shared so many of the remembrances with me, and we've been friends for many, many years, and so this is...
And many more to come, my friend.
God willing.
Yeah, many more
I
might
thank
come.
God every day.
Thank you so much for your time.
Brother, thank you so much.
What you've done for our hobby.
Oh, thanks.
It's just amazing.
Friendships are the best. Can I do this?
Mwah.